I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. I swear these other podcasts are just a waste of time. I'm skipping through them, I'd rather listen and change my mind. Wes and Nick always help me through my daily grind. Your favorite guys, your favorite lines, change my mind. Yeah.
Nick, there's been something that's been running through my mind over the last couple of days that I really need to ask you.
Oh, I see what you did there. Go ahead. What is it, Wes?
If you were caught soliciting prostitution at soliciting a prostitute at a local establishment, would you return to that same establishment less than 24 hours later?
I don't think
look
I'd
to
ever
do the same thing?
I don't think I'd ever go to one in the first place.
Have you ever received a massage? Nah,
I have.
The extras.
I have received, I think, a massage twice.
Okay.
Actually.
Very nice.
Very much worthwhile.
I've never done one before.
Really?
No, you've had like, a couple sort of thing, not like a professional massage.
I highly recommend it, honestly.
I should.
Yeah, I've been dying to get one for probably about 2 years now, and I just can't pull the trigger on it because, it's something like $60, and then you got a tip too.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's not exactly a cheap affair, but I mean.
So your first time in.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind? That's got to be like a weird, because obviously, like, the situation, you don't want to get too eager, maybe the terms I want to use.
Yeah, it was, jeez, no, I wasn't worried about that. Actually, you know what? I had massages in college, too, because I had
You're an athlete and stuff. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
They had they brought in a masseuse for us, so I'd get my arm worked on. Sometimes I got my legs worked on. I think very infrequently, but my arm had a lot of problems towards the end. So,
like an Alex Guerrero type rub down?
No,
like a very vigorous muscle deep tissue massage.
I guess it would be more along those lines, yeah. And then I think I had some in Summer Ball too, locally too. There was a place that did stuff. I actually have had my arm worked on a lot over the years, so yeah, I wasn't very foreign to massages until I went to when I actually got like a therapeutic massage, I guess, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That was a little different because I was relaxed the entire time, but my back's all my upper back's all jacked up from my throwing days, so they spend so much time on that.
I wear a lot of stress right in my neck and my traps. That's where it all goes right there.
Yeah, you can tell you work out a lot, Wes.
No, my stress.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not talking about my muscle definition.
Oh, you mean
I put a lot of my stress in my neck and my trap area.
I didn't quite understand that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, maybe that was on me.
No, I don't think it was.
Well, that's Nick Fryer. This is Wesley Sykes. Thanks for coming back for episode 6 of the K-Pod Sportscast. That is the other podcast that I host. It is the Change My Mind podcast on 1420 WBSM.
I was gonna say you got it right, and nope.
No. Well, that was a nice little shameless plug for my other podcast, which is available on all places where you can find your podcast apps.
Doing the plug-in early, sticking to the theme.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought we'd do it, but this week we got something fun going on.
Very different.
A little different. I would say this is the first thing that's not really like Marvel or comic book related or anything.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. I mean, the romance stuff was not related to that.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah,
the spoilers
you keep
and non-spoilers.
forgetting about that one. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was a good one. That was a good time.
It was a good one, yeah. As much as you ended up winning that poll. I won this last week's poll.
Yes, you did. How does it feel to be a winner?
It feels different, I'll tell you that.
Welcome.
And to have not only first place, but I also got second place, too, because Liam Hemsworth ended up pulling in 33% of the vote.
So Jake Gyllenhaal was the top one.
Yes, he was.
Like just edged out.
37% to 33%. And then it was a Driver and then Bernthal for you? Or was it?
I think it was Bernthal then Driver.
So you're number one.
Yeah.
I think people agreed with Tim and
I think I've gotten to understand how dumb the public is. Oh. And I am no longer going to be vying for their support. I'm just going lone wolf.
Okay.
I'm turning full heel.
Oh, okay. That's what
turning
you
full. Yeah, the man in black. That's what I'm going to be.
One time they don't agree with you, and then you get all upset about it and bent out of shape. I don't.
Well, I'm just drawing the line in the sand.
Tim, I think that the listeners are pretty logical individuals, and I think they got it right, don't you? Your mic's on.
I think that anything that kept them away from who was that bad suggestion that you had?
Adam Driver?
Yeah. Anything that keeps him away from Adam Driver.
Well, there was also Cho, right? And then
Cho was not that bad, though.
Cho's not bad, no.
How is that not that bad?
Not as bad as Driver.
You're gonna take Harold from Harold and Kumar. I'd rather go with Adam Driver.
I've seen
it's
him
that
in
type
some
of
other
typecasting
stuff.
that's not going to help his career at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's that movie was like 20 years ago.
You know what?
Almost.
Speaking of the suggestions from last episode, one thing I wanted to run back, because whoever makes those headliner videos for us really made me look like an idiot with the whole Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson thing.
Oh yeah.
And one thing that
thanks for that, by the way.
As I watched that like 15 times, because I laugh out loud with the ones that I end up selecting. Spoiler: I am the one that makes those videos. I realized the reason why I don't like The Rock as Batman is because I think The Rock, I don't want to say he's bigger than Batman, but he's on a level of his own where when I watch him in a movie, like I don't see him as is he Hobbs or is he Shaw in
I don't know.
See, like Hobbs and Shaw, I see that as Jason Statham in The Rock. Or Jumanji, it's like it's Kevin Hart in The Rock. I don't even know the characters' names.
He's too big for the role now.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't and then I don't think I'm gonna buy into some of the things that he has to do as Batman because of that.
Okay.
So now that I've had a week to think about it, now I can speak eloquently.
All right, I like that. Yeah, I think I threw The Rock kind of on you. I think that was just kind of like a curveball out of left field sort of thing.
Don't give me excuses. I think that what I've learned in the first I appreciate it. In the first few weeks, I think I've learned that if I was a superhero, I would probably be Captain Hindsight.
There we go. I like that. That's good. 2020 vision.
Yes, exactly.
In the past.
But anyways, now that we've sufficiently wasted enough time, we got to get to some of the news that's gone on this week.
Yes. So let's do this. So, but first of all, I don't think we're going to be, the main topic of the day is comedy spinoffs. So comedy sequel spinoffs. So your favorite characters from your favorite comedy movies that were side characters, B characters, they get their own movies. So
and they're our ideas.
Yes.
Not other ones. We'll talk about ones that we've seen.
Yeah, there's a couple of ones that we've seen and what kind of inspired it behind. But last night was Hollywood's biggest night.
Yes,
the
Oscars,
the hostless Oscars.
Yes. Oh, that's right. That's right. They had no host. Such an awkward situation, man. I mean, it was Kevin Hart, right, originally, and then he had some tweets that resurfaced from years ago, and I think it was not. He said something mean about, was it LGBT?
I'm not sure. I forget. I don't keep up with that stuff as much as I should. Either way,
as much as you should.
It finished at 11 o'clock, so that worked out well. I don't have cable at the moment because I'm between places. Not homeless, but between places.
Right, of course.
Big distinction there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You got a place to stay where I can go tonight, or you got a couch I can
with
use?
Me? Yeah, actually, I have two pull-out couches, actually, at my place. Oh,
beautiful. There's a joke in there somewhere, I think. I just can't think of it right now. Anyway.
Maybe it has to do with, you circle back to the spa stuff that we were talking about earlier?
Yes. Now it's a full circle. Now it's come full circle there.
And that's the show.
Do you have any beef with the Oscar winners, or like I know Black Panther won 3 awards: costume design, best original score, best product design.
I think that's fair, and you know what I also don't understand in the course of all this too, and this isn't so much regarding the big picture critiques, I guess necessarily, but the fact that Bohemian Rhapsody. I understand it's split down the middle, and some people.
I saw that recently. Yeah,
I really enjoyed that movie.
I thought the first part of the movie was really rushed.
Okay.
You know, because they from 1 minute he's like Rami Malek's forgetting the lyrics in the song when he's first with the band, and then all of a sudden they're performing Killer Queen on stage in front of like a sold out crowd.
I mean,
I know they were trying to get to that Live Aid point.
Yeah.
You know, and that was the center of the story that they really wanted to tell. But they just rushed through that whole beginning part, which I thought was kind of weird. And I thought Rami Malek's teeth, I know I'm probably not the person to be saying this, but it was found to be very distracting. Very distracting.
They were a little odd, but I didn't grow up like during Queen's time and everything. I was born
fantastic. You got to love them, so. Huh?
I do. I appreciate them very much, and I fell back in love with them again after seeing this. They had obviously some great hits in the course of the movie. I think all of them except for the very last one from the end credits. That was the only song, and I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But
Radio Gaga?
No.
Is that the last one?
No, Don't Stop Me Now.
Yes, and I actually really like that song.
You never heard that song? Don't Stop Me Now?
Never heard it. And my dad introduced me to Queen, and he hadn't heard it before either. I went and saw the movie with him because I don't have a girlfriend or anything like that. Not that I feel lonely or anything ever at night. But I do have 2 pull-out couches for those wondering. Like I mentioned earlier.
Well, if they're sleeping on the pull-out couch, then you probably would be pretty lonely.
I'm kind of saying, if multiple people want to, come hang out.
Oh, wow. It's that type of a party, huh?
Yeah. I'm just...
He's trying to get us to move the podcast there so he doesn't have to drive home afterward.
Now, have you heard... Now, I'm not sure if Nick is well-versed in this enough. Not that I really am, but Tim maybe. A pineapple in the grocery cart at a grocery store means what to you?
Oh, is that means you're
a swinger?
Yeah.
Oh, you did know that.
I
never heard that
Tim,
before.
I had that completely backwards then. Yeah.
Never
But yeah, that
heard
means
that
so.
before.
Maybe we had some pineapple from young Nicholas here to kind of throw into his shopping cart.
Can I throw out an unpopular opinion?
Sure.
I didn't think Bohemian Rhapsody was that great of a movie.
I don't think that's not an unpopular opinion, Tim. That's what I was trying to get at. I
think a lot of people had issues with the movie, but I think everybody for the most part praised Rami Malek's performance. But
yes,
I don't.
Some people didn't like that. Some people thought he didn't play. They didn't show off his homosexuality enough, and they played it as this crazy negative thing, which I can understand that point of view.
And not even getting into all of that. I just thought it was the same. He just played the same character he always plays.
See, I don't know. I don't know most of his work.
You ever, he was Mr. Robot with a mustache.
I'd never watched that.
My big problem with it was, and I liked Rami Malek. I have a tough time voting for him when you have another person in the category who didn't sing and then learned how to sing and actually sang live, and you give the award to someone who lip sync all their singing parts.
Yeah, but the singing parts for either character.
But that's you have 2 actors who are essentially playing the same role. One actually learned how to sing and did a pretty bang-up job in doing so.
I think
and the other one opted for lip syncing.
He gets the credit because he was playing a real-life character, and that's not always an easy thing to do. To inhabit the character.
You're
without
talking
doing
about Malik is the one who was lip syncing.
Yeah,
Dude, you're trying to do Freddie Mercury's voice. You should lip sync it.
I understand that, but you have someone who actually went out and learned how to sing.
I get
and
that.
did a good job of it and performed live at Coachella and didn't get booed off stage.
Yeah, no, you raise a fair point there. I'm saying you can't. How much can you really hold that against Malik? Although apparently, I think I heard this listening to the Boxers. There's another guy who I think is another singer who did some of the voice stuff for. Yeah,
he did all of the. He's
stuff.
in like a cover band or does covers of Freddie Mercury.
I think he's that same guy that you always see on Facebook. Is this guy the reincarnation of Freddie Mercury?
Oh, I've never heard that before.
I think it's that same guy.
He sounds amazing.
And then the answer, of course, to that is no.
He's the closest thing to Freddie Mercury, though.
Right, but he's not the reincarnation of Freddie Mercury. And people argue with me when I tell them that. They're like, but he's great. He sounds just like him. I'm like, yeah, but I'm just talking.
He's not the showman.
But not only that, he was born 2 years before Freddie Mercury died. So he's factually unable to be the reincarnation of Freddie Mercury.
And now we're getting into some spooky South Coast stuff right now.
Yeah, no, that's just general math.
What is that?
Other big winners, Into the Spider-Verse won Best Animated Film.
Rightfully so.
That was great movie. Green Book won a whole bunch of awards, including Mahershala Ali.
I never saw that.
I did not see that as well. And Best Picture. Mahershala Ali was Best Supporting Actor.
I think that's 2 years in a row for him? Or was there a year in
Moonlight,
between?
I thought he was Best Actor.
No, he was Best Supporting Actor for Moonlight, I'm pretty sure.
I never saw that movie. Okay.
But I think there might have been a year in between.
One. There are moments, by the way, that I forget that we have a camera here. I'm like rubbing my face, and I forget that there's this thing sticking right in front of me. I only saw 2 of the Best Picture nominees, actually, this year, I think. It was Black Panther and what we were just talking about, Bohemian Rhapsody.
A Star is Born. I saw those 3.
I do. Yeah, I'm going to see that. I do want to bawl my eyes out watching that movie.
Oh, it's a great one. I do want to see Vice as well. But moving on, for those of you who are excited about HBO television, Barry Season 2, the trailer was just released. Very, very awesome show. Bill Hader, Emmy Award winner. Henry Winkler, a.k.a. The Fonz, a.k.a. the coolest guy on the planet, a.k.a. an Emmy Award winner as well. Also
the inventor of Jumping the Shark.
The show comes out, March 31st, but the trailer is out now, so highly suggest going back and watching Season 1 if you haven't. It's a great time. Short season, 20-minute episodes, 20, 30-minute episodes, 8 to 10 episodes apiece.
Oh, so not so bad. It's right up your alley.
Flip that around, yeah.
It's right up your alley either way. Wes, I saw that in New York, apparently, there were some hashtag Save Daredevil billboards.
Oh, no.
Those people had bought some time. I guess it was only like 5 minutes or whatever. It's you're not gonna be able to save Daredevil like on Netflix. I don't understand their message entirely. Is it for Netflix? Is it for Disney Plus? I don't see how this is gonna work at all.
I am
like
so out on the Marvel Netflix stuff. Like I couldn't be happier that they're canceling it all. I think it's fair.
Okay,
it's failed.
Did you think that Marvel Netflix was a failure?
It hasn't lived up to
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I think it is. It hasn't lived up to my expectations. I've been vastly disappointed with most of the shows.
But you haven't even watched most of the shows.
Well, I've seen a good point. I'm not going to run through them.
You didn't finish Punisher?
Yeah. Exactly. That's a reason.
I don't understand how you didn't finish Punisher. I think it was the second best.
It's a slog. Every series is. We don't have to get into this. I've said this plenty of times. It's a slog.
Okay. What about Daredevil season 3?
They're all slogs.
Did you watch Daredevil season 3?
No, I've watched like halfway through. But that's the point. Is that I can't get through it.
That is not a slog. What do you want?
They spend too much time grab-assing each other.
How is anything that Dex did in that show grab-assing?
I don't even know who you're talking about, nor do I care.
Agent Poindexter? I forget his first name. They got Bullseye, but they don't call him Bullseye. You don't know. You have no idea who that is.
I just don't care.
You don't care because you didn't get to that point. You didn't give it a chance to breathe.
I don't care because those shows aren't even going to live anymore.
What does that matter?
I'm moving on to the future, Captain Hindsight.
If it's not canon, what was that?
I said I'm moving on to the future, Captain Hindsight.
Oh, okay. Why does it have to be canon? I mean, for you to enjoy it.
It doesn't have to be canon. I just think they're poorly made.
What was your breaking point? Where did you say I'm done with these? I know you watched The Punisher, but it must have been before that.
The Defenders. The Defenders, I only give them a credit because it was actually a format that I enjoyed.
I think Defenders is one of their worst ones.
I agree, but at least it was short.
Jess Jones season 2, Iron Fist season 1, Luke Cage season 1. I think those are the ones I didn't like as much.
The sooner everyone can just move on and accept that Marvel Netflix shows suck and that they're all canceled for a reason and they're all going to be recast for a good reason.
For a good... we've already talked about John Bernthal as the Punisher.
Good. He's good.
He's very good.
The bar wasn't really set all that high for the Punisher, let's be honest. Or for Daredevil, for that matter.
Well, because of their predecessors?
Yes.
But their characters are beloved by comic fans. I mean, the Punisher
so is Fantastic Four. They haven't made a good movie yet. That doesn't because fans like them.
They're not beloved like those guys are anymore. They haven't been beloved for a long time.
I disagree.
What was the other thing? Speaking of different universes and comics and stuff.
Ezra Miller was talking about the Flash, the Untitled Flash movie. So I know this gets you kind of excited. He was promoting Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald when the actor was talking about how the Flash film could kickstart its own, quote, speedster multiverse. So this is the quote from him.
Before you read that, aren't you a Harry Potter fan?
Yeah, but Fantastic Beasts I didn't like.
You're not. Isn't it Grindelwald?
Grindelwald, yeah.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Is that what I said?
No, you said Grindelwald, and if I feel like if I let you that slide because you're a Harry Potter guy, it would be that would be wrong. I mean, the listeners wouldn't.
Well, thank you for
that.
correcting my speech.
No
Everyone,
problem.
you must be a killer at parties. But this is from Ezra Miller. We're talking about sparking a whole new universe. It's not just the ones who connect all the disparate pieces.
Self-fulfilling prophecy there.
Because Marvel is a multiverse, and all these different stories with different realities, different characters, and different versions of characters, and the speedsters are the ones who move through it all. So I feel like the point kind of got lost through all of that because I can't talk. But he's pretty much saying that Marvel has a universe, DC has a universe, and the speedsters will have a universe that will intersect in and out of that.
I'm not a Flash guy by any means.
I don't know how that works.
I understand.
It's like him and Quicksilver together? Is that?
I think that's what he's trying to get at, is that they can pass through time and venture into different realities. He created a different reality in Flashpoint. I don't want to. I mean, if you haven't read that or watched the, I think there's an animated. There's an animated show.
Yeah, there is.
Did you watch the animated show?
I saw the animated movie of it.
That's what I'm sorry. That's what I meant. The animated movie, and I've heard nothing but good things about that.
It was pretty good.
The book was great. I someday, hopefully, we'll get Thomas Wayne's Batman on the big screen. But I think what he's trying to get at is because he can travel through time in space or whatever and everything, that he can somehow bring them together. That's not going to happen. There's not going to be a speedster universe. I've never heard of that in my life. And I feel like that's something I would know at this point. I've read enough stuff. I've seen enough that I would know what the hell he's talking about. I've never heard of this before. I wouldn't hate it, but how are you going to bring, we're not just talking about bringing two universes together, you're talking about bringing two studios together too. Warner Brothers and Marvel are not going to go and work, Disney, are not going to go and work together to do this joint venture. That's not going to happen.
Especially not for two weak characters like that.
Yeah, I think it's
the Flash,
just weird.
The Flash is not a weak character.
He's a weak character, and if you're going to be mortgaging the farm on letting them use your other characters as part of it, he's not a strong enough sell to make it worth the time and investment that it would be.
You know what's funny?
There won't be a line of people waiting for a Flash movie.
There are a lot. I think there would be. I think there are a lot.
I didn't think there would be for Aquaman.
Because,
no, that's
but
same thing.
I would say of the people I've talked to over the past couple years about this stuff, I would say 75% like the Flash show. Like that's their favorite character because of the Flash show. And then there's other people who don't watch, who read the comics, and they say that was my guy, and that's why I like the show too, and they prefer the show over Ezra Miller. You want to argue Ezra Miller isn't enough? That's fine, but Flash, the character himself, I think is enough. I think that he's a huge character he has a huge following
amongst fans. I don't think it has that grab people factor like a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman.
For the average fan, you mean? Okay,
like I don't think it's
fair.
enough for them to mortgage.
What did Quicksilver do to the Marvel universe?
Nothing at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, because they killed him in 2 seconds, but people loved him in the X-Men movies.
Yeah, that works out well.
I agree with him. I don't think he's enough, but he's also kind of a secondary character in Marvel as opposed to as compared to the Flash.
It's going to take like Batman versus Iron Man or Superman versus Spider-Man, something along those lines to bring the studios together.
Okay, yeah. I see what you're getting at. That's a fair point. I can understand.
And we got to get Secret Wars before you do any Marvel versus DC stuff.
They're just going to fail at that too, Wes.
Well, Secret Wars, what gives you the impression that Marvel would fail at that?
Because they failed at the Netflix stuff, and obviously that was terrible. So if that was bad, I can't imagine how they're going to get anything else right.
All right, you just sound very butthurt right now.
The MCU sucks too. Actually,
I don't think Secret Wars would warrant a movie.
I think so.
From Marvel, I just don't think that they.
Really?
I don't think they put it on a level enough to make it worth that. I could see them doing it with the TV shows if those were still around.
Oh no, I disagree.
I don't know if they would be all in for having a whole Secret Wars.
Why are you so hell-bent on Secret Wars? Because this is not the first time you've brought this up. Maybe
Secret
on the
Wars
show.
is great. Why wouldn't you want to have the X-Men and the Spider-Man and all the Avengers kind of fighting against one another? It's like everyone in the MCU.
No, it'd be great. I'm just curious why you are.
Because that's what you want at this point. The stakes are set so high. It goes Civil War, it goes Infinity War, and now you want Secret Wars.
I feel like you were saying that before even Infinity War came out to me, but way before the show was ever.
I'm a big fan of X-Men.
Well, that I don't blame you at all. By the way, I had to rank the characters from the X-Men, the animated series, for CBR. I will tell you the list off the air, and people will be able to find that at some point, I think later on this week. That was hard. That was hard, ranking those characters. There's 9 main characters. I'm curious what your list would be.
Oh, geez. I'd have to...
it's for another time, but...
Can I just throw this out there? Was Jubilee last?
There's a very good chance that that's the case. I'll spoil that one for everybody. Jubilee was last.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think
your list has no validity if Jubilee is any higher than last.
Yeah.
She has her own purpose.
She has her purpose.
Sparklers,
my write-ups on that kind of stuff are all glowing.
There were 9-year-old girls that were watching that show too.
Well, she represents, I think, a little bit more than just 9-year-old girls. She's a kid. We're all kids for the most part. We're all kids watching that show, and for us, it's like this is what we want to be. We want to go and contribute and help with these adult things, but we're not allowed to because we're just kids, and we never get any respect. So I think she represented that. As much as she wasn't my favorite character by any stretch, I definitely put her 9th on the list because there are 9 main characters on that show. But either way, I digress.
What are you reading this week?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. So last week, The Amazing Nightcrawler, the first issue of that miniseries came out. It's pretty good. I'm worried because there's the whole Age of X-Men that's out now, and I don't know if I'm missing a couple things because of that. I actually started reading I got this for the holidays, Bishop's first miniseries.
Oh, nice.
His own first series. Like this is from this must have been early 90s, maybe late 80s. Dude, Bishop's such a badass. He gets so underutilized. I know he's getting some more work now, but he is an awesome character. He has a great look too. I hate when they make him bald, but I love Bishop. And then
I like him with the hat on, right when he's giving out the Eucharist.
All right.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Hardcore. I think that was the first show. I think was when I brought up
Sean
Hardcore.
O'Malley, is that the Archbishop?
Yeah. Hardcore 3 is out this week. Awesome. I think this is I have read it. I think this is well worth your time. I can't go into it too much. And then Silencer 14 is out this week as well. And man, if you're not reading this, you're missing out. I absolutely love Honor Guest. She's great. But Wes, what do I need to stay woke about this week?
No stay woke of the week. We're going to get into the main topic.
Because of time?
Yes, because of time.
Oh,
so we're going to get into the best comedy spin-offs that we could get together here. So I want a good amount of time to break into the main course of our of our episode here. We had a whole lot of grab ass going on for the first 25 minutes or so.
We'll throw away on my mind.
Some real life examples. All right. So 2008's Forgetting Sarah Marshall starred Russell Brand, co-starring.
Mm-hmm.
His character Aldous Snow was a star in Get Him to the Greek in 2010. 2007's Knocked Up featured characters Pete and Debbie, played by Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann.
Mm-hmm.
In 2012, they starred in their own film, This Is 40.
Mm-hmm.
A continuation, those same characters. So that's kind of what the premise is here.
Okay.
Do you want to start with some honorable mentions?
There's also honorable mentions.
Do you have some others?
Honorable mentions of my own ideas, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So before that, there's also Minions, which featured the little yellow dudes.
Oh, yeah, but where do they come from?
Despicable Me.
That's right, yes.
They're technically Deadpool. Technically, if you think about it, but it doesn't stem from a comedy.
Yeah.
Shrek's a comedy, right?
Yeah.
Was Puss in Puss in Boots.
Puss in Boots, yes.
Yep.
Yes, it's very good.
Penguins of Madagascar had a movie. They came from Madagascar.
Yeah.
Then there's American Pie Bandcamp.
Yes. But were there the characters from that? It's just the father, right? I think that's the only connection. Is Eugene Levy is like in all of those?
Oh, maybe I thought one of the girl. I thought what was the girl? The redhead. I forget her name.
Oh, she could be.
She was in Buffy too.
Yeah,
she might have been in that. And then the last one I had was Evan Almighty, the absolute biggest letdown I think out of all of these.
I think that was for a long time the most expensive comedy ever made.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. But my honorable mention list, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because I can't count to myself. So I will go with one of my honorable mentions is Alan from The Hangover getting his own spinoff. I would have liked to seen that. Obviously, when it came out initially.
But don't you think that he's kind of the focal point, and especially in the sequels?
He is in a way, but Bradley Cooper's still the guy. He's still the main character. Like,
of course.
He's your straight man. You can't it's like this show. We can't do it without you, Wes.
Well, you call me the straight man? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying you're the main guy. That's
no, well now you're just trying to move me up here.
And then I would say
give me a happy ending.
It's
a callback to an earlier joke.
Then I would say my other one is giving either the Black Knight or preferably the Knights Who Say Knee from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, giving them their own spinoff.
Oh wow! All right. Okay.
Knee. Okay, so those are my only two that I have.
So I think it's important to weigh the slugging percentage, if you will, and see how that will extrapolate over time. What's your hit rate? How successful were you, in your short amount of time on screen? And do you think that translates to? So I thought Vince Vaughn and Will Ferrell's characters from Old School, like either one of them could kind of have a spin-off told in their point of view. And I think that would be pretty funny. Vince Vaughn is kind of like that fast-talking kind of shady guy you don't really know.
Yeah, actually,
he's kind of a good guy, but he's kind of a sleazebag as well. Like I think that could be kind of funny. This is kind of funny. Principal Anderson and Billy Madison. I think he's really the Blob. Like I want to know more about the Blob and how he's telling Billy that he's horny through Valentine's Day cards. Like that would be really funny to me. Like I would love to see a little bit more on what his day-to-day life is like.
Oh my God.
And the other one, this one is a not so heralded movie. Cool Ethan from Slackers. Have you ever seen that? It stars Devon Sawa, Jason Segel, and Jason Schwartzman, who's Cool Ethan. Very funny college movie. Who else is in it? The girl from the redhead from that 70s show's in it. Jamie King's in it, who's very attractive.
You know what? I just realized we forgot about Jay and Silent Bob too, right? They got a spinoff.
Oh yeah, they did get a spinoff.
That's kind of a big one too, and they're going to reboot.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they're the continuous characters through all of those movies.
That's what I mean. But then they star in it, and they get their own front billing.
So I would almost say, like, a lot of the View Askew movies are just other people invading Jay and Silent Bob's world. Really,
it could be.
Oh, that's a good point.
Some people think a cucumber is a better pickle.
You've used that one before.
That's one of my go-tos. That's a possible shirt.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
We'll get to those eventually for sure.
Spitballing there. So those are my honorable mentions. My number 5 pick, though, is Gene, played by Chris Merloni. He was the chef in Wet Hot American Summer. You figure out little tidbits about Gene throughout the 2001 cult classic, like he has a ED problem. He enjoys fondling sweaters. And he just wants to hump a fridge. Like, so I want to know. And he's like constantly like talking to himself. Like, I think he's a war veteran, if I remember correctly.
He's a Vietnam vet.
God.
Yeah, and so like a reboot like of Wet Hot American Summer told through the perspective of Gene would be fantastic. What is he doing in that kitchen on a day-to-day basis?
Well, he plays great characters in comedy.
Yeah,
because he was the tow truck driver in Harold and Kumar.
Right.
Wow. I forgot about that.
I know Nick said that he hadn't seen Wet Hot American Summer. All I have to do to get you to watch this movie is imagine a can of beans with the voice of H. John Benjamin.
Yes. Oh, that's him. Yeah.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Not only for the movie, but also I think into the TV series too. Yeah. They also have the talking can of beans.
And the cast is just unbelievable. I mean, star-studded up and down. Amy Poehler, Paul Rudd, Bradley Cooper, Michael Ian Black.
Elizabeth Banks.
Ken Marino. Elizabeth Banks, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Lake Bell looking.
Yeah.
Lake Bellist. Love
is that it on your first one? Wow.
Yeah, that was my number 5.
So my number 5, because I made sure to rank them this week.
There we go.
At your request. Mr. Deeds, a character from that movie, I want to give him a spinoff.
Yeah.
His name is Emilio Lopez.
Oh, so that's yes, the butler.
John Turturro's character. Yes, he gets a lot of money at the end of it all.
Right.
I wouldn't mind seeing his upbringing because he was a butler for his father, essentially.
And you can see his... oh, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm just waiting for you to say it.
No, go ahead, Wes.
I was going to say he likes to smell feet.
Yes.
You know, he has to help him with his daily sock change.
Yes.
I like feet.
Yes.
I don't know why.
I do not know why. And then seeing what he does with his money afterwards, too. I know he gave Deeds, a good chunk of that money, but seeing how he lives large, how many feet he surrounds himself with. I forgot about the whole feet thing. I just, the whole fact that he was a butler for his old man, I was kind of hung up on that. But that is my number 5.
Right,
Wes.
Butler for your father, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It has a Happy Madison movie written all over it.
It does.
It'll be better than Grown Ups, I can guarantee that. And Paul Blart Mall Cop.
That's a good one. Number 4
I
for
saw
me
that in theaters, by the way.
is Mr. Levinstein, the aforementioned Mr. Levinstein from the American Pie series. Eugene Levy is downright hysterical. He embraces like how white he is all the time, and just how dorky he actually is. I find him absolutely hysterical. I feel like he's just playing Eugene Levy, like every role that he is, he's just himself. So a movie that's set with Levy getting back into the dating scene as a middle-aged man. With similar American Pie antics would just take my money 9 times out of 10 every time. 9 times out of 10.
I'm surprised that you're 4. That's a brilliant idea.
That's pretty good, right?
I can't believe no one's thought of that before.
I think that would be really funny. Like he's like a
so
divorcee trying to like understand like the world of dating.
It seems so obvious.
Yeah, I think that would be good, right?
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, Wes, I'm excited for your 3, 2, 1 because
that was originally my number 3, but I did a last second flip flop.
Nah, I can understand that, but still, I don't see how you can think of a better one. It seems so, I don't know, like a no-brainer. So my number 2 is going to star Steve Zahn as Marvin from Daddy Daycare.
Oh wow!
He was a.
That was out of left field. I wasn't expecting that one. Okay.
I watched
Daddy Daycare.
I watched that movie a lot as a kid, and I think he dressed up as the broccoli in one of the first few scenes. He was like he worked at. I
think I saw like 5 minutes of that movie, and I know the scene you're talking about.
And his line is because the kids are attacking him. He's like, "Save yourself, Carrot." My dad and I still say that to each other to this day. And then he has an awkward moment with, he ends up dating this very attractive mom of one of the kids that they're taking care of. And he's like, when he meets her, it's like, I'm your baby's daddy. No, I'm obviously not your baby's daddy. I want to be your dad. I could be your baby's daddy. It's like, just painfully awkward. Star Trek fan, and I wouldn't mind seeing him do something kind of going off on his own. Maybe somehow just focus more at home, seeing how he's doing with the wife, and then maybe starting his own daycare thing. If I can imagine, he's going to get into semantics.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I like that one a lot. That's probably Eddie Murphy's best film of all time.
I would have to agree.
Daddy Daycare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, come on.
We're kidding.
My number 3.
Can't even say that with a straight face. Come on.
Obviously, it was Norbit.
Norbert's another good one.
I also saw that one in theaters too.
Meet the Clumps.
Were you being serious about the Norbit thing?
No.
Okay.
Oh, no. He had some
Okay.
terrible.
No. So my number 3, Chaz Reinhold, played by Will Ferrell in the 2005 film Wedding Crashers.
Oh yeah.
His cameos is perhaps what puts the movie right over the top. You're kind of along the same lines as Eugene Levy. You follow Reinhold's history of how he came up with the rules of engagement, quote unquote, for crashing weddings, and how he figured out the riches of crashing funerals.
That is
like how do you get there? How does everything start? It's a prequel.
First, again, great one, great idea.
Right? Yeah.
I would say it's definitely better than the Eugene Levy one.
And again, you got to think about it. Like, he was such like a meteoric force in that movie.
Yeah.
But I think he can carry out that role and stretch it out for like a 90-minute movie or something and still get some good laughs out of it.
For all the dumb movies that Will Ferrell has made as he's been on his decline, how is this not a no-brainer for him?
Yeah. I agree.
That's a great call, Wes. Again, you are on fire right now.
I'm spitting it.
What was your 5? It was I'm trying to blank.
Gene from Wet Hot American
Okay, that's
Summer.
why it's not standing out to me as much because I haven't seen that. So my number 3 would be, this would obviously have to be a prequel, but it's going to be Walt and Donnie from The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
Oh.
Shut up, Donnie.
Yeah, just the two of them together. I like that. Like a buddy cop thing.
You can bring in the dude a little bit here and there just to show face and be like, hey, it's the dude. And then, go from there. But I would love to see Walt and Donnie go on their own adventure and basically just have John Goodman make fun of Steve Buscemi for, I would say, if it's an hour 30 movie, maybe, 60 minutes of it.
I would just like a
ripping into him
roast of
left
Steve
and right.
Buscemi.
That was not my favorite part of The Big Lebowski, but it's why I would want to watch it again. It's just to hear him, shut up, Donnie, every 5 seconds.
Well, it's definitely fertile territory.
Yes.
Yeah, I love the old fertile territory there, like Mesopotamia.
And it would also give you the opportunity to bring in more of the Jesus, who was going to get his own sequel, but
was he?
They may still do it.
Really? I would have liked to have that years ago. Obviously, right now it's not ideal, but I wouldn't rule out people.
I think people would go for anything Lebowski at this point.
Yeah, this is true. I can't really argue that point. So, what do you got for number 2, Wes?
My number 2 is Brian Fantana, played by Paul Rudd in the classic Anchorman movie.
I already know what the movie would be called.
Sex Panther.
Sex Panther. It has to be Sex Panther.
Now, there's a recurring theme here. Again, much like Eugene Levy's role, he could... This is kind of my pitch. Is Brian Fantana in a 40-year-old virgin / ladies' man type of deal? So you ever see the ladies' man with Liam
Meadows.
What is it? Tim Meadows. Thank you.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't seen.
So
I know what you're talking about.
So you don't want a fish sandwich?
Yeah. So he's like him just being a woman, him being out on the dating scene, pretty much.
Oh, now I'm thinking of Tim Meadows. I'm thinking Benchwarmers. I could have done something with that movie.
Yeah. Now I've got a couple here that I'll bring up at the end as well.
God, yeah. Go, but is that your full pitch?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's Brian Fantana on the dating scene in San Diego.
Okay, call me crazy, Wes. I think that's again the Wet Hot American Summer. I can't really count that.
Sure,
but I would say that's your 4
popular movies. People love them.
Yeah, but I would rather see the Eugene Levy one. I'd rather see the Will Ferrell one ahead of the Brian Fantana one.
Oh, really? Huh?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think the other ones are just a level above that one. But you're also a big Paul Rudd guy, so I can understand.
Big Paul Rudd fan. And that's the other thing too. You're worried about him like not being able to carry a full movie. People love Paul Rudd. Like, I'll watch 90 minutes of Paul Rudd.
Right.
People would go see the Brian Fantana one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it would work out better. And after what happened with Anchorman 2, I'm sure it will be much better.
Right.
Which maybe give Will Smith his own Anchorman spinoff from what was it?
You could do the ESPN one, yeah.
Or give give the Ghost of Stonewall Jackson his own spinoff. That was
Kanye West was in there, yeah.
That was the one. That was the major bright spot in the whole thing.
Who else was? Jim Carrey was in that one too.
So that was
Canadian
your
News Team, yep.
that was your number 2.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. So my number 2 is Cal Naughton Jr. from Talladega Nights.
Wow, I figured this would be your number 1.
Yeah, it's
You're a big Cal.
You're gonna like my number.
Cal Naughton
My
Jr.,
number
is that-
1. I love Cal Naughton Jr. Shake it before you bake it, baby.
Yeah.
I think I know Nick's number 1 before we even get to it.
Oh well, you know what? You can guess it. I guarantee you won't get it.
Okay.
It's
All
I am very happy with myself for coming up with this idea. But give Cal Naughton Jr. his own spinoff with I forget the actress name, but his wife obviously later on in the show.
John C. Reilly.
Yeah. No, his wife.
Oh, I think
sorry.
you forgot his name.
No, I forgot her. I'm sorry. I forgot her name, the actress's name. She's also in. She's the reporter in Iron Man, and she is what's his face's ex-wife in the movie.
Oh,
Ricky
yeah,
Bobby's ex-wife.
yeah, I don't know
the
her
blonde
name,
girl.
yeah.
She's very attractive, obviously. But I would love to see them get their own spinoff and see him kind of doing his own thing after post racing life. Again, still mixing Will Ferrell, but not. I don't want him overpowering things. But what is your before you say your number 1, Wes? Do you have a guess for his number 1? Tim? Because I don't. I'm just curious.
I don't. I mean, his field of options has been very diverse.
But you know what? The thing is, he's picking ones. It's like I don't know how I didn't for one second think of these ideas. They're just they make perfect sense.
Well, like I said, I'm going against the grain. I'm going against the people. Maybe the people will come back to me, like the sheeple that they are.
Okay.
Full heel.
What do you got?
A couple last second additions here. Jack Black's character in Orange County. I would pay to watch him. He's just like a drugged out loser, stay at home older brother who's hysterical. A lot of mischief going on in there. And Ernie McCracken, played by Bill Murray
that's a good
in
one.
Kingpin.
Sure, a bigger movie.
Arguably the greatest sports villain of all time. Story from his point of view. Anyway, my number 1 though is Dr. Evil, played by Mike Myers in the Austin Powers series. Arguably the best character in that Mike Myers plays in that series. I think he's more quotable than Austin Powers. I don't think he wears on you as much. Like, I think that Austin Powers comes on like a little too heavy. It's a little too much.
He's very Borat-like in the fact that that there's limited use for those quotes.
Right.
But a Dr. Evil can be any time.
Oh, you're gonna cry? Huh? You're gonna squirt some? You're gonna squirt some, big man? Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I love that. So, and I think this falls in line. I meant to look this up, but I didn't. Because I was too lazy. Dr. Evil is getting his own spin-off movie, I think.
Really?
I believe so.
Well, I know they're working on a 4th. Austin Powers,
but I think it's centered more around him as opposed to Austin Powers.
which would make sense.
Yeah, which is, I just think Dr. Evil, one of my first AIM screen names. Dr. Evil
Really?
82787. Yeah.
Nice. I think that one makes perfect sense, Wes, and I think that is a very deserving number 1.
But if I could swap out my number 5 for Ernie McCracken in Kingpin, I would. That would retroactively.
I think looking back on it, honestly, I think I'd rather see the Walt and Donnie spinoff over Cal Naughton Jr.
See, yeah, I could see that. I mean, I could see them both.
I almost
both
thought
right
that.
there.
As much as it was the legend of Ricky Bobby, it was just as much his movie too.
Yeah, he was. I mean, that was my favorite John C. Reilly movie, I would say, period. I love that movie. I've seen that movie more than any other movie, I think, in my life. At home, my dad is notorious for watching movies he likes over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, don't we all?
I'm
a big fan of it.
Well, we can recite that whole. I mean, like the dinner scene. Chip, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Chip, I'm gonna scissor kick you in the back of the head. What is wrong with you kids? Shut up, Chip. If we want to name our kids, if we want our kids to be losers, we name them Dr. Quinn and Medicine Woman.
Right.
Yeah, shut up, Chip. All right. Anyways, so if one that I would also add in, would be Howie and Carlos from Benchwarmer. So Howie's the albino brother of David Spade in the movie, giving them their own spin-off.
I never saw that movie.
It's a terrible movie. It's awful.
Okay. Nick Swartzen's in that though.
That is who
big
Howie
Nick
is.
Swartzen fan.
That's Howie.
Okay.
He's the albino brother. He is very uncomfortable on screen. So, Tim, what is my number 1 idea?
I would have thought your number 1 is White Goodman.
Wait. Oh, that is a good one. That is a good one.
You
White
love
Goodman.
White Goodman.
I do like. Yes. We are the Porkovers.
That's
I was
had that on my
at
worst-
Comic-Con and I ran into a guy dressed as White Goodman.
No.
And I sent it to you. I took a photo with him and sent it to Nick.
When did you send that to me? This one's been a while back. That's why I can't remember it.
Yeah, I think it was a couple
Nobody
years
makes
ago.
me bleed my own blood. I say that all the time. All the time. Anyways, no, my number one. So I've already used this movie, Mr. Deeds. Okay. Mm-hmm. And it's part of why I put the Emilio Estevez one, or Lopez one, so far down. I would actually probably bump that up to number 3 ahead of Marvin from Daddy Daycare.
Okay.
I really didn't want to spoil this one or take away from this one. So I would give Crazy Eyes his own
Steve Buscemi. You got a big Steve Buscemi fan here.
Wait. It's not. I wouldn't just give him his own. I'm sorry. So you know the movie Hardcore Harry with the POV stuff?
Yeah. But his eyes are just googling around everywhere. That's like you get motion sickness. Who's gonna go see that?
I'm sorry.
Oh my God, this is.
I see that.
He's going to be tearing up in front of us now, right in front of his eyes.
I had no desire to see Hardcore Harry, but I would pay good money to see this movie.
Now, if I would not get sick from it, I'd give it a watch. You know, that's like kind of like torture porn, I guess.
I mean, if Ted Sarandos is watching this podcast, they throw so much money at Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Like, why not just do it?
Yeah,
it's got to be better than some of the movies he's made for Netflix.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Would you see that?
I think that I would.
Okay, is it not as funny as I think it is? Because I think it's a freaking hysterical idea.
I think that's hysterical. I wonder how that comes across to the viewer. You know, I'm thinking about how I would enjoy that.
Either way, you give him or how about this?
And it's in 3D too.
Oh, there we go. Now we're talking.
I think if you even so, you could do it where you have moments where it's POV. It's a fair compromise.
There we go. Okay.
But I would definitely give Crazy Eyes his own spinoff. That's my number one.
You can have
for sure.
all the Oreo and French fry pizzas you'd want.
Yeah, I think the White Goodman one though is a good one, Tim. I'm a little bummed that I didn't think of that. You know who else would be kind of? I don't know if I'd see it, but you could give who's the big nerd with the huge nose in that movie, and then the Austrian woman who ended up getting together at the end of the show.
Oh,
the
yeah,
movie in
yeah,
Dodgeball.
yeah. Lady in Red.
Yeah, I wouldn't see that actually. Now that I say it out loud, Steve the Pirate though. Steve the Pirate definitely deserves his own.
There's a story there that hasn't been told with Steve the Pirate.
Scurvy.
I had White Goodman as my worst spinoff.
Really?
Yeah, because the whole movie's really about him anyway, and like
That's true.
he is just so far
major
over
part
the
of it.
top. It's stretched out over time. I don't think it could work. I had
Touché.
Champ Kind and Brick Tamlin and Anchorman as worst spinoffs because again. They're just like really over the top characters. I would say John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell and Step Brothers are like co-stars. I wouldn't do either of them.
How about Patrick O'Houlihan? Give him his own spinoff.
I would do Adam McKay's character, the older brother, Derek.
Yeah.
As that would be pretty funny because I love Adam McKay. Maybe the cops from Superbad, Seth Rogen and Bill Hader.
It's not a bad idea.
That could be kind of funny. But one I definitely anything Rob Schneider related from any Happy Madison movie because he's the worst.
You're out.
You're out. Okay.
Yeah. Although Deuce Bigelow, not that bad.
How do you say his name?
Deuce.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure he didn't say deuce.
Yeah.
Well, it's a douche. It's a deuce. It's it's
yes,
tomato.
I think I pretty much gave all my ideas. I know I interrupted you in the course of your impressive list of. Movies that you wouldn't want, but I think Patrick O'Houlihan.
I think I'm confused by
Patches.
All the comedy movies in the world in the history that you could choose from. You choose like Daddy Daycare, Mr. Deeds twice. You weren't really limited. Like you really limited yourself.
In the course of it, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with I'm going to try and make some really bad ones and see what Wes says. Because he's going to probably come up with some good ones. And I'll just try and make some really horse crap ones that not a lot of people want to see.
I'm trying to be supportive.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm trying to be supportive.
But you can't hold it in anymore. I think the Walt and Donnie one.
That would be good.
Is a no-brainer.
That one I would like.
I honestly, I think the only one that I'm looking at my list now, it's like, yeah, it's really not that good, is the Daddy Daycare one. And I would probably switch that out now in hindsight with The Nights Who Say Knee. I think they could carry a full, 2.5 hour movie themselves.
2.5 hours? That's too long for any comedy.
I'm kidding.
Wow.
Obviously not.
I was going to say, I was like, oh,
No,
geez.
they couldn't even do 30 minutes.
I've got a couple throwbacks for you.
Oh, yeah. What do you got,
there we
Tim?
go.
Looking more toward 80s comedies, which to me was kind of the golden age of when you had goofy characters in movies.
Sure.
Back in my day.
I think the Stork Brothers from One Crazy Summer, very underrated movie, filmed locally.
Can you play the cricket sound? Do we have that?
But no, not too many people know the Stork Brothers. But excuse me, the one character that I think would have fit perfectly into this, and they kind of did do a movie with him, but it was a made-for-TV movie.
Okay.
But I think there should have been a Cousin Eddie movie at some point from National Lampoon's Vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know what? That's a good one.
But they ended up making like a National Lampoon's Hawaiian Vacation, and it was on NBC, and it focused on Eddie's family, and it was terrible.
Oh.
But if they made a good theatrical movie, they can't now because
it's too late.
It's not only that, but he's completely crazy.
Oh, actually?
Yeah, Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he this is a Stay Woke of the Week waiting to happen.
Well, Randy Quaid got captured by aliens and then returned to them to go blow up their mothership on the 4th of July.
And now he's hiding from.
But now he's back.
I think he's in Canada hiding from the American authorities.
You guys never seen Independence Day?
Yeah, no.
Never.
Not in a while.
No, that sounds very eerily similar to what he actually believes in real life.
Yeah, it was kind of the joke. Yes, didn't.
Sorry, I was letting you and Tim kind of go back and forth. My bad.
Anyway,
This is Tim's fault. Come up with his bad ideas.
2 verse
I think
1.
that's a good idea.
2 verse 1 here. What do we got here?
Oh, right. So we got this week is the Battle of the Johns, and this is actually when we were starting the podcast back when we were talking about it at Gillette Stadium the first time to kind of circle back to what we were talking about earlier at the start of the show.
Humble brag, yeah, I like that.
So I was saying to Tim that John Wick is the best action hero, non-superhero action hero of all time. Tim disagrees. Your guy is
I think John McClane.
John
is the
McClane.
best.
And then I also was like, okay, we're going to put these two together, but I got to think of a third one. I think Rambo is a good one because his name is John. Just that reason alone. I think he's also a good action hero. So Tim and I have already revealed who our guys are, and we'll explain why. But Wes, do you want to go first on this?
It's very simple.
Oh.
I went by kill count in on-screen kill count over the course of the films. Okay. So coming in last is John McClane with 73 kills over 5 films.
73 though? Wow.
Yeah, you think that's a lot, but just listen. John Wick has a very high percentage. So once this third one comes out, he might eclipse my John Rambo pick here. But John Wick comes up second because in 2 films he has 205 kills. So that's a lot in a little time.
God.
But no one has done it more and longer than John Rambo, my man Sly Stallone. 503 kills over 4 films. Give me John Rambo. He outlasts them all.
He's going, I think, at a better rate, too.
503 over 4 films.
It wasn't like a third of those just in the last film.
I believe so, yeah.
It was something like 125, 130 kills.
That man just cannot be stopped.
There was a scene where he killed like 90 people like at one time.
And he also single-handedly ended the Cold War in Rocky IV, so...
Right.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
That's right.
I did it!
Exactly. So it's pretty simple to me. I'm not much of a math guy, but that math made sense to me.
That math does make a lot of sense. But my thing is, we see John McClane at the tail end of... John Wick at the tail end of his career as an assassin. He's not even an assassin anymore. He's done. He's out of the game. And he is going in, kicking ass, and taking names. And I can only imagine if he was as young as Rambo was when he first started. I know he was just out of the military, but he was still young. If we got a prequel John Wick, which I think there is an audience for that at some point, and we're getting the third one, we get one of him when he's young, and he is the boogeyman back then.
I understand that, but you can't go off of
Baba Yaga.
This is Captain Hindsight coming in perfect. You can't go into the past and just assume that he was this cold-hearted kid. We don't know that.
Okay,
it's only on screen. We can only work with what we have in front of us.
Okay, that's fine. But what I've seen in front of me is that for a guy who is so clunky in terms of how he moves, he can handle every single individual that's thrown his way, no matter how skilled they are.
Very smooth about him.
Well, that's the thing. He's like when he his hands are smooth. I think the rest of his body, he kind of is awkward in a way, but his hands, like the way he operates with a gun, the way he's able to disarm someone and knock them out, and then obviously take them out. No one is better than John Wick at that. I almost said John McClane again. So what's your case for McClane, Tim?
Well,
73 kills, by the way.
The thing about John McClane,
kills.
yeah, but he only kills because he has to.
73 kills. Go ahead, Tim.
You know, the thing
So
about
was John Rambo. Those 503 people had to go.
how many people did Rambo kill in the first movie?
I would have to look that up.
I think it's like 5.
John McClane?
No, Rambo.
Oh, well,
It might actually just be 1. He might only just kill the sheriff.
Oh, you know what?
Spoiler alert.
I don't remember because it's been so long since I've seen it.
So you're going to spend time.
The Rambo of First Blood is just a totally different Rambo than the one in the rest of the movie.
First Blood is 1.
Yeah, the sheriff.
503 kills, yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so there you go. How's that for weighting it?
So
yeah.
It's really 502 kills over 3 movies.
And then Rambo 4, he had 254, which was up from 115 in Rambo 3.
200.
Well, Rambo 3 was more of a political picture than anything else. But the thing about John McClane is he's the everyman. So he's not an assassin.
But
who's going to protect you?
Yeah, you want John McClane protecting you against these two guys?
I think that John McClane has the one thing that the other two don't have.
Oh, do tell.
And he has a tendency to try to outthink. And I think, John Wick's a pretty smart guy. John Rambo, not so much.
Yep. No, but my man's about that action.
Yes. Oh, come on, you're fine. I'm not going to call you out on stuttering. I do it enough.
The thing about McClane is he will find a way to get out of the situation before he gets killed. He'll only kill them if he has to.
That's right. Yeah.
But he'll find a way. I mean, obviously, you need to kill them for the satisfaction angle.
Well,
right.
For this situation, I think you need to kill them because they're trying to kill you, Tim. So you feel comfortable if Rambo and Wick are hunting you down, that John Wick's going to keep you alive.
I do have a caveat for John McClane.
There we go. Same thing with Bane last time.
No, he has to have shoes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
For 2 movies, he didn't have shoes.
See, my thing is that
big handicap.
Last week, Deathstroke was Wes's pick versus what was it? Batman Who Laughs and Bane. Your guy was the best combination of the 3. I think that I have the guy who's the combination of the other 2. I think I have the guy who's a combination of the other 2. Yeah. But I think that John Wick is the smartest of the trio. I don't think he's not the strongest. Obviously, John Rambo is the guy, but I think
you're judging a book by its cover when it comes to John Rambo and his intelligence. I think that man wrote and directed and starred and produced in an Oscar-winning film called Rocky.
Well, the actor behind him, yes.
It's kind of the same person, though, isn't it? Right?
Yeah, in pretty much every movie. He also works with Dolph Lundgren and Chuck Norris and Terry Crews in another action sequence. I think that was actually
the Expendables.
I think that was actually Rambo's pre-life or pre-Rambo story. Yeah. So you got to count those kills in there.
Is it? Yeah.
I don't care. The Expendables are just a great series.
Oh yeah, those were fun. Those were fun. I wouldn't mind doing an episode just devoted to the Expendables, honestly. But Wes,
what are you watching?
No. I want to throw this to you for your Stay Woke of the Week.
Oh yeah.
Because mine, I didn't really have a good on my mind. It was something that Tim was going to say.
We'll just skip it. We'll just it was going to be on microdosing. We can get back to that next week. It's something that all the Silicon Valley tech CEOs are doing.
Okay, so
something to keep in mind. But what I've been watching. Yeah. Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. Saw that. Fantastic.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, very good. I highly recommend that. Also, 2 shows on Netflix. Binge watched this dating show called Dating Around with Julia. And that was awesomely bad. It was great. It was great, like 30, 40 minutes of television. You whip right through them. You make fun of the couples. You find out who wins. You said, no, that person sucks. It should have been this one. It's a good time. And also on Netflix, Slobby's World, who looks like the doppelganger of our good friend Brendan Curie.
Oh.
But he is a curator of like 80s and 90s pop culture fashion and like memorabilia and collectibles. And he gets all this stuff through swap meets. And it's the most addictive show. He just gets all these like old school jerseys and hats and like all this like other like designer stuff. So I went to the Salvation Army. Like I was like inspired by it. Got this shirt, $3. I got 2 other knit polos, like knit ones. Whole thing, $12 out of pocket.
Really?
See, if you'd gone on Wednesday, they would have been half price.
So, really? And Wareham half price on Wednesdays?
Yep.
So my one question in all this one, I have a couple. How is Sarah Silverman's character in Wreck-It Ralph?
It's good. She's good. Same thing. Yeah.
Okay. And how's Gal Gadot's character?
Oh, I didn't know Gal Gadot was in it.
She's the driver. She's the badass chick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I can see that now. Yeah, I didn't know that was her voice.
Yeah.
It's cool. Sarah Silverman's character has like a run-in with the Disney princesses, which I think was in the trailer and stuff. But that's kind of like a cool scene. Like she like glitches into the princess's like green room or something, and then everyone like it gets ready to attack her, and like Cinderella like breaks her glass slipper and is like ready to like jab it in her face and all this stuff. And it's funny stuff.
I do want to see that movie. We are running short on time.
Yes.
I know we do a podcast. For those who don't watch us on WBSM's YouTube channel, we do a live show, which you guys can watch when we broadcast on Mondays at 10 Eastern time. But Tim has Midnight in the Desert. Is that right?
Yep.
That he has to go get ready for. So keep your eyes peeled for that on Twitter once in a while. Tim's always tweeting that stuff out at Tim Weisberg. And, of course, he has his podcast, Spooky South Coast, which is on Saturdays from 10 to 12 on WBSM's YouTube channel. And you can find that everywhere you listen to podcasts. Wes, where can the people find us?
Well, you can find us on Twitter at the Change My Mind Pod, or you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spreaker, Spotify, Overcast, Stitcher FM, or Stitcher, Anchor FM, Radio FM, Pocket Casts.
Everywhere that you can find podcasts.
Pretty much anywhere you can find us, yeah. Nick is at Fry_Guy1. I am at Wesley Sykes _ both on Twitter. And if you didn't hear in the beginning, I do have another podcast called the Cape Pod Sportscast. We just did our high school hockey draft for all the local Cape and Islands players. So go and check that out ahead of the MIAA state tournament.
And you can also find us on Geeks Worldwide on their SoundCloud and on Geeks GWW Radio, which is also on iTunes as well. I know that the Batman last episode 5, the Batman episode did well on there for iTunes from what I could see.
All right. I love it. We're just gaining traction.
Speaking of other episodes, we, like last time, don't know what we're going to do yet for next week.
We'll figure it out.
We will figure that out, though, and we will let you guys know on Twitter if you keep your eyes peeled for the 2v1. Because I would love to hear some input. Again, we're getting the likes and the retweets, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. Who's going to win those fights?
We want to talk to you. We want to hear from you.
Who was right or wrong about last week's, too? Those are still up on Twitter. But we
Come have a chat.
Exactly. But we will talk to you guys next week.
Till then.